All right, so it says if m plus 7 is greater than or equal to 24, then complete each inequality. So take a look at number 46 right there in front. Do you notice how the m is by itself? It says m is greater than or equal to something, yes? So how would I get that m by itself in the original problem? Perfect, you all see the plus 7, right? So we'd subtract 7 from both sides. When you do that, the 7's cross out, and you get the m by itself, which is what the first problem says, right? M is all by itself. What do you get when you subtract that? 17. So what do you think the question mark is going to be? 17. Wonderful. Number 47 in the middle there. Now it says m plus something is greater than or equal to 27. Does everybody see that one? What's different from the original to number 47? Instead of greater than or equal to 24, now it's greater than or equal to 27. How do I get from 24 to 27? So on this side, we would have added 3, yes? But am I allowed to just do something to one side? I also have to do it to the other. Now, if I'm going to put a plus 3 on the left-hand side, is it going to go underneath the m or underneath the 7? The 7. So if I do that, what does that portion give me? 10. So this question mark right here will be 10. And over there, that last one on the far right, it says m minus 5 is greater than or equal to blank. What is different between the original and the new problem? Yeah, it says minus 5. Y'all see that? On this one, it's plus 7, yes? How do I get from plus 7 to minus 5? First of all, am I going up or down? Down, so I got to be subtracting something, right? How many am I subtracting to get from a positive 7 to a negative 5? You are subtracting 12. Because I got to get down to 0, and that takes me 7, doesn't it? And then I got to get down to negative 5, which is another 5, and 7 plus 5 is 12. Well, if I do minus 12 to one side, I got to do it to the other. So if I subtract 12 over here, what does that give me? 12, which will be that question mark there. Everybody doing okay? Wonderful. So today you're going to do a lot of the same stuff you did yesterday, except for now you have to write the problem, okay? And I have 3 steps that I would like for you to follow. First and foremost, you need to determine the unknown. Basically, what are they asking? And what do we normally use if it's unknown? A variable. A variable. Then, once you decide what your variable is going to be, then you need to write an inequality. How is an inequality different from an equation? Instead of what? Yeah, you all know that equations have equal signs, yes? Inequalities are going to have greater than or less than symbols. Okay, that's how you knew to shade yesterday. Because, folks, if I say something like x is greater than 5, how many numbers are there that are greater than 5? How many numbers out there are greater than 5? Infinite, right? Are you possibly going to be able to write down all of those numbers? That's why we do that shading thing, so we don't have to write them all. So somebody else can look at our number line and see all those numbers. Make sense? Okay. Now, with that being said, because we have word problems, it wouldn't really make sense to do a number line for word problems. You're going to write me a sentence, okay, instead of doing the whole number line thing. Fair enough? And finally, after you write the inequality, then you're going to solve it. And like I just said, you're going to make me a sentence. Okay? Solve it and make me a sentence. That sentence will start with a capital letter. It will end with a period, or it won't be correct. Okay, yes, I know this is not English class, but I'm not asking you to write paragraphs. Okay, I'm asking you to write one simple sentence. Somewhere probably between 5 and 10 words. I think you can handle that. Ready to go? Okay, so we'll work through these problems and then we'll be off. So, I don't think I put a number by them, did I? Talking basketball here. Number basketball. A player's goal was to score at least 150 points this season. So far, she has scored 123 points. If there is one game left, how many points must she score to reach her goal? So tell me, what's the unknown? So how many points? What do you want to use? P, H, I don't really care what you use as long as it's not an O. Okay, now, when we do these problems, I want you to tell me what the cutoff is, what the goal is, what the end number is, and what is that here? 150, right? That's what her goal is. If it says at least, does that mean greater than 150 or less than 150? Could I be equal to 150? Yes, so that's the end of my inequality. I want to be greater than or equal to 150. Well, how many points do I have? 123 plus, do I know how many points she's going to score? P, and then we're going to solve it. Now, Gage has already told me how many points that is. Pretty easy, right? But folks, we're going to start getting into multi-step. Everything that we do today is going to be single step. And I understand you might be able to do this without an inequality, but we need the practice of writing inequalities. So from yesterday, how do you isolate this P? What do you think, Cody? How do I isolate that P? Wonderful. And what do you get there, Cody, when you subtract the 123? P is greater than or equal to what? Okay, so do you think it's reasonable? Could she possibly reach her goal? She gotta have a pretty good game. 27 points, pretty good game, right? Yeah. Write me a sentence. What would you tell me to solve this problem, to answer this problem? Go ahead, Dalton. She must score 27 or more. She doesn't have to score right on 27, does she? At least 27, perfect. Start with a capital S if you're going to use she. They did tell me it was a girl, right? Yes, she. Make sure you end it with a period, and we'll be good to go. So that's going to take the place of your number line with the shading, okay, on these real life problems. I am going to skip the next one because we're short on time, and we're going to go down to the bottom. It says amusement. A thrill ride swings passengers back and forth. You all know what ride I'm talking about? Like the ocean motion or whatever that swings you back and forth like this? Yeah. A little higher each time, up to 137 feet. Suppose the height of the swing after 30 seconds is 45 feet. How much higher will the ride swing? What is my unknown? What's my unknown? Yep, what do you think, Don? How much higher? What do you want to use? H? M? I don't care as long as it's not an O. What's the cutoff? What's the goal here? 137? Am I going to go greater than 137 or less than 137? Less than, could I be equal to? Yes. There's also a piece of information in this problem that you do not need. What is it? Yeah, no, they don't tell me or ask me at all about any kind of time, do they? No, so we don't need it. Well, where are we now on this ride? How high? And am I getting higher or lower? So I'm going to add something to it. How much will I add to it? Okay, H. You guys are jumping the gun on me here. So now how do I solve for H? Subtract 45. And Braden, what did you tell me that answer is going to be? 92. Okay, so what are you going to write me for a sentence here? Doesn't have to reach 92 feet. It could possibly go up 92 more feet. The ride could possibly go up 92 more feet. Can't go over 92, but it can go up to 92. Probably at that point, people are falling out of the ride. I mean, right? You got it. You got it. All right, moving on. We're on to the back now. All right, we're talking cell phones. Now, I feel like this question, instead of minutes, should be text messages because nobody talks on the phone anymore. You guys don't pick up the phone and call people. You pick up the phone and text people. You know what? Honestly, my other class was the exact opposite. Say, oh no, we don't call people, we text people. So whatever. Anyways, Mario purchases a prepaid phone plan for $50 at 13 cents per minute. How many minutes can Mario talk on this plan? What is my unknown? How many minutes? What do you want to use? What do you say? G? It's very random, but we'll use it. G. We can't use O. What's the cutoff? What's the goal? What do we got here? $50. Does it have to be greater than or less than 50? Could it be exactly 50? Yeah. Okay. What do I know about my minutes? How do I show 13 cents per minute? In our case, it's G, right? Okay. How do I isolate the G? By what? 13 cents. It has to be 0.13, folks. If you forget the points, then it's $13, and that's an awful lot of money for 1 minute. Okay, so go ahead and divide. 384.61. Okay, so let's round appropriately here. Do I have enough money to round this up to 384, or does it need to come down to do I have enough money to round up to 385, or does it need to come down to 384? Excuse me? Then you didn't put the decimal point in. What was your answer to me, Gage? I'm sorry. 385. Do I have enough money for 385? I don't. Yeah, and that's why we get a lot of questions that I have from you guys, because you're taught in elementary, if this is a 5 or higher, you round up, right? You're taught that. But in a situation, you have to be able to reason and think what's reasonable. I only have enough money for 384.6, so I can't go up to 385. I got to come down to 384. Does that make sense? Okay, what kind of sentence are you going to write me here? Mario only has enough for 384 minutes. Wonderful. So could he talk 400? Could he talk 300? Yes. Wonderful. That's a lot of minutes. It's a lot of minutes. Well, right, there's 60 minutes in an hour, right? So this is like 6 hours worth. Almost 6.5 hours of talking. Yes, I've got toilet paper back there if you want that. There's 60 minutes in an hour, right? So 360 minutes is 6 hours. So yeah, about 6.5, yeah. 6 hours and 24 minutes. What is 6 times 60? 360, isn't it? Yes. So what's 384 minus 360? What is 3? So this is 6 hours and 24 minutes. About an hour and a half. About, right? No. That's just me. And you'll get 6 point something, correct? 6.4. So about 6.5 hours. That's what we're talking about here. About 6.5 hours. Okay, Rodrigo, you read it this time. You tell me what the unknown is. And what are we measuring length in here? Length of time. Days, weeks, months, years? You guys see that? So I'm going to use W for how long. All right, what's the cutoff? What's the goal? What's the end? 560. Do I need to have more than 560 or less than 560? At least. So greater than or equal to? Is everybody doing okay there? All right, what do I know about this trip? Does he have any money to start with? So he doesn't have any to start with, but he's doing $25 per week, right? So how do I represent that? Wonderful. How will I isolate that variable? So W is greater than or equal to, what is it? 22.4. Again, we need to talk about this situation. When you receive a paycheck, can you just stop in the middle of the week and say, okay, I'm ready to get paid? You got to work the whole week, right? So can he work 22 or does it have to go up to 23? It's got to go up to 23 weeks. So what kind of sentence will you write for me here? Easy enough. He has to work at least 23 weeks. These sentences don't have to be huge, folks. Okay, they just have to answer the question. What's up, Dalton? Okay, so can he only work 22 weeks and have enough money? He needs that 0.4, doesn't he? So it's going to have to go up to 23 because you can't just stop in the middle of the week and say, okay, I want my paycheck. Doesn't work that way. You got to, yeah. Okay. Everybody got a sentence written there? Yes? A couple more left here. Gasoline costs. Oh my gosh, gas just went down. You all see the price? $1.94 I saw it for. Crazy, awesome. Hey, that's awesome. When I was in college, it was over $4 a gallon. It's crazy. What, you think they just let anybody teach you? I went to college. What do you mean? I said when I was in college, it was over $4 a gallon. I graduated 10 years ago. Hey, not that old. You didn't think that was that long ago? Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment. No, I'm not 38. Ish. Going on 33. What's the unknown here? How many gallons? What do you want to use? Oh, this time G makes sense to use, doesn't it? Okay, what's the cutoff? What's the goal? What's the end? 24. Less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. Which one? I only got $24, don't I? So it's got to be less than or equal to. And what do I know about this gasoline? How do I show $3.15 a gallon? You got it. Solve it, folks. It is a lot for gas. It wasn't that long ago that it was in $3 a gallon. You know what? They price, like at the hurricanes and stuff, wherever those natural disasters happen, they price gouge it too. They'll just jack it up because they know everybody needs it. Crazy. What is it? I'm sorry. 7.6? Isn't there a 1 after it? Yeah. It says nearest tenth. Do you folks know, do you have to buy gas at a whole gallon? No, next time you look at the pump, I want to say there's like 3 or 4 decimal places after the decimal point that you can buy. But this question asked for the nearest tenth, so that would be 7.6. Are we good there? Write me a sentence. What's it going to say? He can buy up to, or at most, 7.6 gallons. Starting with a capital letter, ending with a period. All right, 2 more left. You read it. You tell me the unknown. What are you going to use? E. G. You guys are just on the letter G today. Yeah? Because you're a gangster? Because you're gauge? Yeah. What's the cutoff? What do I know? What's the end? How many? 42. What do I know about that 42? You guys see how it says fewer than? Am I allowed to be equal to? Does it say I'm allowed to be equal to? No, do not put an equals bar on this. It says 2/3 of employees. What does this word of mean? Multiply. So 2/3 of the employees. How will you solve that? By what? Divide by 2/3. Make sure you put it in properly. The 42 has to go in first, and then we divide by 2/3. E is less than 63. 63, and it's a nice whole number, right? Okay, so what kind of sentence are you writing me? What are we talking about here? There are less than 63 employees. No. It was worth a shot though, right? The worst I could say was no. All right, you read the last one. What period did I have you last year? Was it last period? Last year? We always had the conversation about shoot dog, didn't we? Why does it have to be dogs? Was that not your class? Maybe it was a different class. Was it your class? Yeah, because Ben always said it. Yeah, Ben Reyes. He was in 7th period. He sat right behind Quinn. Yeah. Okay, so what's my unknown? What do you want to use? What'd you say? B. First thing I heard was B. What's the cutoff? What's the goal? What's the end? Do I want more than or less than? Can it be equal to? No, it just says more than. It just says more than up here. Right there. 3/5 of the employees. So 3/5, and we're using B. You are dividing on each side. What are you dividing by? Like that? Can I have 1/3 of an employee? Not really. Correct, because yours is as an improper fraction and is not as a mixed number. How about Gage Crawford? Yeah. Is he ready to go? Is he leaving? Okay, sounds good. Hey, we'd still be using G. Okay, so am I gonna make this 458 or 459? In this situation, what makes sense? 458. Yeah. What kind of sentence are you gonna write me? 458 employees in the West Branch. All right, folks, let's get you some homework here. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks from today. How do you know you're not going to have homework? I know. Just seeing if you remembered. Oh. She pulls out homework today. I bet she's gonna check that still. And so goes homework.